YouTube has always had its punching bags, Jake Paul, Logan Paul. My favorite was Keemstar.
Why am I still getting hate?
But since they're the punching bag, there's tons of videos being made on these people, and if you want your video to stand out, you gotta up the ante. It starts off, Keem's a bad person. He's a bad friend.
I found out that Keemstar's been shit-talking me and one of my good friends, Grade A Under A, behind our fucking backs.
So he's a pedophile and beats his girlfriend.
I just stabbed my girlfriend in the cheek with her own car keys, so apparently there's proof that he's a woman beater as well.
Jake Paul made a bad music video. He's a bad neighbor.
The fact that he's just like, oh, my neighbors are angry because they can't sleep and can't live a normal life anymore. Oh, fuck those haters.
So he's a rapist.
And no means no. And what he did to her on that night is not okay.
If you couldn't tell, a few of those things end up not being true, and the latest example of this is Lele Pons. It started off with everyone saying, oh my god, Lele Pons is so cringy.
Man, Lele Pons sucks.
And each one of these videos is full of incredibly unfunny humor.
And when I say everyone, I legitimately mean everyone.
It's gonna be loud and it's gonna be super cringy.
That is some classic Lele comedy right there. That is fucking comedy right there.
Terrible comedy. How unfunny those 7 seconds were.
What was this joke supposed to be?
Lele Pons is an individual that believes loud equals funny. Incredibly unfunny humor, low effort content.
These videos for the most part were more about goofing on Lele Pons than really trying to expose her, but just like with previous YouTube punching bags, the stakes had to be raised. You had to bring something new if you wanted your exposed video to stand out.
I'll tell my mom to call your mom so we can have a play date.
No, ew! Girls have cooties!
He wants us.
She's also promoting the idea to little girls that the only thing that matters in life is boys.
Huh? It turned into finding one joke in Lele's video that's remotely edgy, and instead of celebrating it like our community always has, let's damn her, break down every joke in the most annoying, drawn out way to the point where it's not even recognizable. Yes, commentators are now taking jokes literally.
Hey girl, stand up.
Hello, my name is Vera and I am a boy.
Hey girl, stand up. Oh, I'm a boy. Lele. That's a real person. I understand this video is meant to be an act, you know, it's meant to be a comedy. But these are real people who actually have these issues, and she's actually taking the piss out of them for the comedy skit.
So you're telling me that she's taking a piss in her comedy skit? You know, like the kids are acting in a video that their parents signed them up for? Oh, dude, what a bitch! Dude, are we sure that was a skit? Because that looked pretty real to me.
Hello, my name is Vera and I am a boy.
You're right, I don't think he's acting. This is real life. Forget the part where he's clearly trying to hold back laughter. He is an abuse victim.
Well, maybe how to not get bullied is not bully them for your YouTube video, Lele. That's probably a good start.
I think it's about time you get out of the closet, huh?
Are you fucking serious? No, she didn't just go there as well, did she?
Lele Pons is homophobic and she's broadcasting bullying kids to YouTube. She has kidnapped these kids and is picking on the gay one. Unbelievable. What else is there?
Lele's video is a softcore porn about statutory rape.
What?
Is a softcore porn about statutory rape.
Can I be serious for 1 second? Does anyone actually believe that? This is a website that you can't even swear on, and you're telling me that Lele Pons uploaded a softcore porn about fucking children and it stayed on trending for multiple days. I dare you to Google image search softcore porn and tell me again that Lele Pons video is that. It's incredible that I haven't heard anything about this, especially since Lele's video came out last year. I mean, you know a commentator is doing something shady when instead of showing you everything that happens, they tell you.
Class full of female students start acting like animals in heat the second they see their teacher, and then fight amongst themselves over who's gonna sleep with them first.
That is just not true. The girls have a crush on their substitute teacher and have a competition to see who can get a kiss on the cheek.
Let's make a bet. First one to get him to kiss you on the cheek wins. Okay.
Nerd then says,
during gym class, the sexy educator pits the students against each other in a no-rules, dirty dancing competition. Whoever's dancing turns him on the most gets to bang him.
Not to bang him. As we said, it's for a kiss, and the competition is all in Lele's head.
No!
Are you okay?
The teacher is a normal dude and never has his students do any of these things. It's a daydream sequence.
Lele, shoeless and now braless at school.
Well, you got a little bit of a foot fetish going on, a big fan of the Dan Schneider.
Shoeless and now braless.
Shoeless and now braless. This is why you called it a softcore porn? Dude, this is some incel level shit. If you don't know, an incel is a member of an online community of men who consider themselves unable to attract women, so they hate women and sexually active men.
I have boobs now. Hey, am I right, kids watching boobs?
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do this with boobs now, huh?
They hurt! Why the fuck did she just slap her tits? This is for children.
I nearly built a supercut of all the times Lele holds and drops her boobs, bounces them braless, or smacks them like you showed.
Softcore porn, softcore porn, softcore porn.
She's not even wearing anything revealing. He's only saying that because she shook her ass and spanked her butt in a goddamn dance routine. Is it fucking 1910? Do we need her to be a nun? I mean, this is peak manipulation. He omits information from Lele's video.
First one to get him to kiss you on the cheek wins.
He then makes up his own shit to make her sound worse.
Whoever's dancing turns him on the most gets to bang him.
Then he grossly oversimplifies a goddamn comedy skit.
Lele's video is a softcore porn about statutory rape.
If you want to be that dishonest, you can oversimplify anything to the point where it's unrecognizable. The Super Bowl is a family-friendly event hosting the two best teams in football. There are tons of kids before the game and during the halftime show. Shakira and J-Lo are two pop icons and are seen as role models by young girls everywhere. The pop stars are seen shaking their, bosoms, dancing on strip poles, and even caging children.
Hope you have an amazing birthday, J-Lo. Love you.
I mean, this is easy. You could do this with anything if you're up your own ass enough. In the popular movie franchise Star Wars, two grown priests from a religious cult buy a slave boy so they could teach them the ways of the Force. The Karate Kid is a children's movie about how fighting can solve all of your problems. Nerd City is a YouTuber who bashes women in his series THOTPatrol. He shames them for their body, insecurities, and their race.
Latina.
Oversimplifying or straight out omitting information from the viewer is one of the most scumbag things a creator can do, and Nerd City consistently does that with Lele's video. Now, production-wise, editing-wise, this video is undoubtedly top tier, but the information in it is so sloppy, inconsistent, and often downright wrong. One of the more crucial screw-ups is when he talks about COPPA. COPPA is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act that was enforced by the FTC because YouTube was illegally collecting children's data under the age of 13. But as it turns out, on a website where it's free to make an account, it's hard to stop children from lying about their age and doing so anyway. So YouTube has made a new policy where if you upload a video, you have to check whether or not it is made for children. Prior to COPPA being released, the FTC gave us vague guidelines so we could see how COPPA could be enforced. Some of these have to do with the age of the models or whether they're celebrities geared towards children. Others are as vague as visual content. Helpful. But the point is, there is no one-size-fits-all answer. However, Nerd is going to make the case that Lele is indeed in violation of COPPA. He starts by showing that Lele's videos target children under the age of 13.
Fans who make videos addressed to Lele Pons look like this, and this, and this, and this. Her fan meetups are no different.
Pause. Enhance. Those all look like adults. In fact, I found this same clip, and most of them are, or at least teenagers. He found one clip where she says,
our fan base is like from like what, 9 to like 17, 20?
My demographic is like from 9 to 24.
I mean, that is a whole lot of numbers, but of course, all we hear is 9 years old, children, kids, the whole rest of the video.
9-year-olds. Lele says these videos are for kids. Feature kids.
My demographic is like 9.
That last one was just you cutting her off mid-sentence.
My demographic is like 9. My demographic is like from 9 to 24.
That is you calling her a children's entertainer by ignoring half of what she and the FTC is saying. Remember, your content isn't considered directed to children just because some children may see it. If your intended audience is kids under 13, then you're covered by COPPA. If you aren't sure if your content targets kids, here's a list of things to help you out. A targeted audience is different from your demographic. It has to be content made for children, watched mostly by children. So let's give Nerd the benefit of the doubt and say that 40% of our audience is kids. Even though by just using doing Nerd's own research, we could see that Lele's most common rating on her channel is teen. Apparently only 30% of her entire catalog is rated PG.
30% or more of her videos are rated PG.
61 videos being rated teen, 36 videos being not rated, and finally 32 being rated PG. That's less than 30%. I don't know why he says or more. If you do the math, it's actually closer to 25% or a quarter of her videos. But for argument's sake, let's give it to him. Her videos are about sneaking into bars underage, mean high school teachers, relatable college skits, and getting back at your cheating boyfriend. What about that relates to or targets 9-year-olds? Doesn't that sound like it's meant for teenage girls or college students? But Nerd is gonna try and make the case that she is indeed targeting kids and in violation of COPPA. I say we just listen to him with basic common sense and come to our own conclusion.
She features children in her videos of various young ages, and she makes videos out of early childhood topics and interests, like the Tooth Fairy.
One member of the group that no one gives a shit about. There's no holiday for me, even though I work every fucking day. Bitch, I give you money.
She's swearing and complaining about her job. That is the definition of satire, bro. This isn't a kids targeted video.
Even though I work every fucking day.
Oh shit, I dressed up as Santa once for a video. Doesn't matter that I shot someone. It's for kids cause they're Santa. Max Mofo, he opens children's toys, dresses up as children's characters. He must be for kids. I feel like we're running into a pattern here.
Toy Story.
Oh, shit, my head hurts. No, she's trying to scare you, little shit.
It's the same oversimplification of everything. It's like I'm being fucked with right now. Is this video really just a satire for how brain dead commentary has gotten? Because he's making the argument that Lele is for children and in violation of COPPA, but he's only shown clips of her swearing and being satirical.
Dora the Explorer.
Dora! Can you find the twerkers?
Back, 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 back.
He is fucking with us, dude. He just showed Dora twerking and then crossed off in violation of visual content. Nerd City's the kind of guy that would see Rule 34 of SpongeBob on Pornhub and say it's in violation of COPPA. COPPA has been in effect for over a month now. The channels they've targeted clearly fall in violation. There's no argument that could be made there. Their content is made for kids. Nursery rhyme channels. We have Lightning McQueen, Woody. The video's a nursery rhyme. It's targeting children, no doubt about it. Ryan's Toy Reviews. He opens toys, plays with them, sponsored by toy companies. It's for children. And what drives me crazy is Nerd's complete lack of understanding when it comes to jokes. Like, bro, you realize that's not actually Dora. That kid's not actually watching TV. They're actors. He's either purposely leaving out context to these videos and describing them in the most dishonest, oversimplified way, or he's somebody who just doesn't understand basic social cues, sarcasm, or parody. And if that's the case, I don't think he's the one that should be policing YouTube. Another thing that bothers me in this video is when Nerd criticizes Lele's CoverGirl ad.
The sponsorship disclosure is buried under the fold and below her socials with obscured phrasing.
How is that obscured phrasing?
Thank you, CoverGirl, for partnering with me.
As long as you have ad block turned off or not installed on your computer, it says includes paid promotion at the beginning of her video, which you have to manually turn on, so Lele is going out of her way to inform viewers. And hilariously, this same thing isn't turned on for Nerd's video. It's this same shit over and over again where he's just hoping his audience doesn't double check his work. And Nerd City is the only person in commentary who could watch this video and think the ad's not obvious enough.
And for limited time only, make sure you get it online.
And in stores now.
For God's sakes, Hannah, just stop.
She's making fun of herself doing an ad read. It doesn't get more obvious than that. I cannot believe a commentator is this unaware. This is a Lotus level exposed video. It's so bad. Another garbage point is when Nerd says,
"This is a pattern for Lele. She'll title her videos something that a kid might search for in a vulnerable moment or when they're having a serious problem. Using an incognito window to ask Google how not to get bullied, returns Lele Pons' video How Not to Get Bullied as the #1 result in the video tab."
This is the worst argument ever. That's what her skit's about. If your kid can't realize a Lele Pons video isn't real, they probably aren't old enough to be on the internet. Also, kids will Google it. That's the criticism. What a baseless statement. If a kid has a homework assignment in YouTube's 5 words that rhyme with bigger, Mumkey's video is the first to pop up. Does this mean Mumkey is turning the kids racist who just want to do their homework assignments? That's the road we're gonna take this down? Thank you, doctor, for the enlightening argument. Nerd City's video isn't all bad. Here's one point I did actually like.
Because for every Lele who blossoms after puberty and can afford plastic surgery and makes viral videos, there's bound to be at least as many high schoolers who don't entertain millions of people, or get fatter over the summer, or their acne gets worse.
Yes, if you're a kid and you're ugly now, odds are you're going to be ugly forever. Not all of you will graduate high school. Some of you will grow up just to suck dick for a living. Fuck improving kids' self-esteem or self-confidence. Big mistake, Lele. Some kids are just losers. Thank you, nerd, for that great parental advice. Hey, nerd, if you couldn't tell, that was a joke. In conclusion, I could tear apart every minute of Nerd's video. There's so much more I'm not going over, from the leaked DMs to the borderline manipulation going on behind the scenes, but I think the best way to end it is to just give him some advice for the future. One, if you don't know what you're talking about...
We are talking about, like, legalese and shit like that is over both of our heads in a way.
Don't make 2 videos acting like you know how it works. You're misinforming everybody. If YouTube and the FTC thinks Lele's content doesn't violate COPPA, how do you know better? You don't, so stop it. 2, every video doesn't need to turn into a court case. You had Daddy05 lose custody over his kids, you tried to make Jake Paul lose his advertisements, and now you're contacting YouTube to go after Lele Pons. Stop being a snitch. I know Daddy05 was a great win, but now you have 2 strikes. If Jake Paul and Lele's content is no longer allowed on YouTube, what does that mean for the rest of us? Every time YouTube puts out new policies to clean up their content, who gets clipped? It started off with Alex Jones, then Mumkey, then Filthy Frank's hair cake video got temporarily taken down, and now the Leafy content cop. It's not gonna be Lele Pons. We just watched 4 of her most edgy videos over the past 3 years, and unless you take them grossly out of context, they are incredibly tame. 3, when you get pressed on your videos because people start to poke holes in your argument, either engage in the productive conversation or ignore it, because you spurg out and it literally makes no sense.
Broadcast is a very specific word, and I chose that on purpose.
Okay.
You know, it means broadcast, right? So, like, if I said these dogfights happening on cruise ships are against the law in the United States, what I'm saying there says it all. Do I have to say a cruise ship is not a United States of America?
Why did he just compare dogfighting on cruise ships to broadcasting regulations in the United States? Stop trying to make YouTube follow TV regulations. They're irrelevant. The internet's better for a reason, and I don't want YouTube to be like TV. Oh, and here's another spurred tweet. I nearly built a supercut of all the times Lele holds and drops her boobs, bounces them braless, or smacks them like you showed. But I wondered if I step out of frame, would the section be clipped and re-uploaded as a wank bang? Her deleted Instagram stories are being curated on Pornhub. Wow, you really are making your case for the Incel Awards. Now, to be clear, Lele Pons is not a porn star. For research purposes, I looked at these Lele Pons Pornhub videos. They're mostly people photoshopping her head onto naked women or pictures of her in her bathing suit. And if you're making the case that all of her fans are 9, showing her huge Pornhub Photoshop fan base seems like a bit of a contradiction. At the end of the day, YouTube isn't perfect. They're gonna have their golden boys. Some will get better ad rates than others, and we're gonna think some things are unfair. But that's what comes with a free platform. And I think the freedoms far outweigh the consequences every time. Plus, picking on these normie-ass content creators is so lame. It's just desperate dogpiling for views. There's literally hundreds of videos made on Lele Pons with the same stuff regurgitated over and over and over again. If we're gonna vilify every popular creator and play armchair lawyer while snorting our own farts off our eye horse, all we gotta do is look at YouTube's recent history to see how that's turned out. Remember Matt Watson? He started a campaign in 2019 to stop pedophiles from watching videos with kids in it, and he won. But all that's led to is a bunch of family vlogging channels getting their comments forced off by YouTube. Because if you can't see the pedophiles in the comments, it must mean they're not there. Well, this is social media. If people aren't commenting, that's less engagement, less shares, less recommendations, less views, less money. And that's a regulation that had some good intentions, but does it actually stop pedophiles from watching these videos? No. Are the children any safer than they were before? No. All it's done is affected the family business in a negative way and taken away their money. We can't bubble wrap the world, not without losing every piece of individuality, edge, and weirdness on this website, and that's what I value. Don't take that from me. We've already lost so much. I'd rather have an imperfect, unfair platform where we can express ourselves than a sanitized lab where everyone has to live up to the same arbitrary regulations. Visual content. Amazing.
Here's to the rubble. A breakthrough every window. A casket buried 6 feet deep for everybody's heroes. Here's to our lives being meaningless. And how beautiful it is. Because freedom doesn't have a purpose.
Moral of the story, don't expect YouTubers to parent your kids. I'm live on Twitch right now. Come yell at me.